I've got nearly $20,000 in parts that I need to justify why I spent all that money on that. All right, so how this is gonna work is we have my 2024 newly modified Hyundai Elantra N, and we also have a completely bone stock one to put it up against.
Someone say bone stock?
What we want to do today is figure out just how worth it all these modifications are, because these cars are already really good out the box, but we have to mod them. I want to see how much of a difference it makes out here on the track. So we're going to set a lap time in the stock car and a lap time in the modified car, and we're going to see how much of a difference it makes, and then look at the data and see exactly where we get those improvements. And because I don't trust my own driving abilities, Ron's like kind of a pro, so I brought him along.
Get out of here. You got way more laps here than I do. I just came out because I want some track time.
All right, so let me show you the car. From the factory, these cars got a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo that make 276 horsepower, and it's got an 8-speed dual clutch automatic transmission, which I actually picked over the manual. I just got this car corner balanced, and it weighed in at just a pinch over 3,300 pounds, which is pretty light for a brand new sedan.
And this isn't really far off from what we were racing at SRO either. That was also a DCT car, same motor, but these have no power mods.
100% stock, because if for some reason I break anything here, I'm driving it to the dealer and I'm not dealing with it. Let's talk about the upgrades. This is the absolute most basic track day package mods. We've got adjustable suspension, sticky 200 treadwear Yokohama A052s mounted on 1552 wheels, a Neotech big brake kit with track pads on the front, stock rear pads, an Adro carbon fiber body kit, which probably doesn't actually do anything, but looks really cool. And then it's got Stek tinted windows and a black PPF roof. We actually did a really aggressive alignment on this car. It's got -3.5 degrees camber in the front and 3 degrees in the rear. And what that's doing is actually tilting the wheel inwards like that, so that when you corner, your wheel flattens out and you get more contact patch. That'll be essential. I think the biggest difference that this car is gonna make on track is the stickier tires and the alignment. But the factory car actually comes with really good tires and pretty big brakes, and I think that the stock car is gonna do really well.
From everything I've heard and seen, the stock car is great on track. But remember, this thing has to do it all. Any country, any condition, anything, it has to be able to take it. So this isn't perfected for the track. It'll be really interesting to see how it does straight out of the box.
Down to 28 PSI, as recommended by my trusty camber guide. We got some cloud cover, pretty chilly afternoon, cold tires. We're gonna go out for the first laps. I'm gonna set a hot lap in my car. Ron's gonna set a hot lap in the stock car, and then we're gonna driver swap so we can see what we do in each one of the cars, so we can see exactly how much an improvement the modified car is. You ready? You've never driven this track before.
I've never ever driven this track, and it's kind of intimidating.
I've heard good things. I've seen what some of these cars have done here, so let's give it a shot.
Let's do it.
All right, I got all my settings. My engine on Sport Plus, my steering on Sport Plus, and I have my ELSD on Sport, and ESC is turned off. All right, scrubbing these new tires. Hopefully we can get a good lap time out here. Oh, lots of rub on that compression. Oh boy. Big compression here. Oh yeah. God, what a hilarious vehicle. Let's see how it does down the cork. Lots of rubbing, gonna destroy my paint. No problem. So much compression there. Oh, this track is so fun. This thing feels great. Oh God, bounce rev limiter. Wow, I picked up so much time through that turn. And there, almost half a second in just those two corners. Earlier on the throttle there, dropping a little bit of time. Oh man, all right, first laps in the Elantra N. It's so much fun. Honestly, a really great feeling car on track. It's got lots of grip. It's got a perfect amount of power and it has a lot of confidence. It really just does what you want it to do. Yo, how was the first hot laps here?
Crazy. There's so much oversteer tuned into this car from the factory in such a good way. I'm pretty slow here. There's a lot of spaces that you have to really build up to.
Yo, Laguna is a hard track. Like what people don't realize is there's a lot of really flat out sections, but there's a lot of really high speed but technical corners.
And like big commitment.
The turns you're gonna make the most time on is obviously turn 2, which everyone thinks is turn 1 after the hill. Turn 6 is a big fast turn. Me personally, turn 5 is the hardest one for me. I always screw it up.
The uphill left?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the corkscrew and the turn right after 10 is so hard. Downhill, lots of compression. It's crazy. This car,
it's how is it? Because
it's okay. So modding is great. You gotta do it, you have to do it, but it might be a little too low because it does, or the wheels might be a little too aggressive because it does rub quite a bit on compression. I can't really see where.
Self-clearance.
Yeah, you hear it a bit. I don't see any major like rub zones, but overall, I mean, god damn, this thing is super fun. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna driver swap. We're gonna put the AIM Solo in each one of the cars so we can compare and contrast exactly what these cars are doing, where they're faster, and how much faster. So this isn't about me versus Ron, it's more so about comparing data. I'm gonna jump in the stock car, I'm gonna take it for some laps, we're gonna see what it can do. So I've never tracked a factory Elantra N, but now I've driven a touring car, full kind of race car build, and like a street track mod car. So I'm curious to see how this thing does.
Daily driver.
Tires and brakes are going to make the biggest play here. Oh, this car rotates way more than the modified one. Holy crap. Feels messy, but the aim is showing good. Big off there. Might as well bring it in. But damn, I was gonna be my fastest lap too. This thing is so fun. Even in 100% stock form, this car is incredible. Oh man.
Hey, I see a little bit of gravel on here. A little bit of smoke and brakes.
Dude, I was about to do my fastest lap and I went 4 off on turn 10. This thing is so fun.
It's easy to go faster, but it rotates so easy.
Dude, the driving characteristics of these cars have changed dramatically. This is a lot more tail happy. This car oversteers a lot more than the modified car. What I don't like about this car is the fall off is pretty quick. So the tires have a lot of grip. The factory Michelins are doing a good job, but by that third lap, I mean, I was coming in for my fastest lap and they just scrubbed just enough to go outside and get in the dirt. I mean, you could see on the shoulders, like, they're screaming for it. But man, this thing is fun.
They're good
You gotta go put down a lap. So I'm not gonna show you the times until the end when we can review them so you could understand what's going on in the times. Ron, don't hot dog it, be a good boy. Alrighty, folks.
So much more grip out of this thing right off the bat. All right, let's see if we could clean this one up a little bit. Get off the rev limiter, carry some speed through here. Yes! Oh, just a little bit of gravel. The tires have fallen off a little bit. Trying to power up the hill. I lost a lot of time on that one, bogged. Earlier on the throttle there, get down into third, carry some speed. So much grip out of these tires. It's honestly between that and the stiffness of the suspension that makes all of the difference. A super grippy tire and that stiff a suspension, it makes a lot of difference. You know, that's not something that a lot of people want on their daily, on a track car, and for some people, you don't mind the stiffness. It makes all the difference here.
Some final laps in the modded car. Gonna see what I could do in it. I'm a little bit more comfortable on track now. A little bit more seat time, gaining some confidence. See what we could do. fastest lap. I lost 0.7 seconds. I had a 0.7 gap, and then I went up, 2 off. Look at this wheel.
Whoa. And look at this situation.
Oh man,
right here.
just in the dirt for the whole thing. Tracking is so fun and so frustrating because you're like, I did it. I'm on the last 2 turns.
Yep.
I'm going to crush my PB.
Yeah.
And then just
you
in
do
the dirt,
one
just
thing
off,
wrong.
and you're just marching it through the dirt.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so fun though. So things I definitely noticed as I kept driving the white car is that I did not bed the pads initially on this. And I think in the first session, I really felt kind of skeptical on the brakes. I didn't feel a lot of confidence, but the more we drove it, the better the brakes got, which is really good. That and just kind of learning the car, but I'm really happy with this thing. Let's go back home and we'll dive into the data. We'll talk about what all these parts did or didn't do and where they did it and what made sense. Okay, it's time to go see just how this car did on track. I've got all my data tools, but I actually have no idea how to do all this stuff. So I'm gonna go see my pal Al, my track day buddy, and he's gonna help us read some data. Good morning. Look at Hi, Milo. What's up, bud? What do you got there? Did you make me breakfast?
You want one of these? You don't like them runny though. Look at them. Jiggling.
I want good service. Sub 2 speed house, data and track day improvement assistance, the little espresso, some runny eggs. Your E92 at Laguna Seca, what did it run?
Like a 135 in the rain. And it was on lap 12.
Yeah, that was almost full race car mode. Mostly stripped out, about 3,000 pounds. Like that was pretty race car. I'd always bring my AIM solo just so I could see my lap time on the day, but I've never once reviewed my own data.
That is the main purpose.
After I did a bunch of racing with Hyundai and Jeff Ricca spent time looking through data, I found it so tremendously interesting and it's so helpful to see how you could become better at driving. It's not only fun to look at like how fast you're going, but actually see where you are picking up speed. And I think with 2 drivers driving the same cars but with different setups, it'll be fun to see exactly where those mods are working the best.
Well, we have to use a program called Race Studio 3, and we take the solo, connect it over Wi-Fi, so no cables, and then we have to download all of the data, which is GPS data. They also make a DL,
Right.
which is for data logging, which plugs into your car and gets all the other parameters like speed, brake pressure, all that. But
Which
we're gonna
should be
keep
cool.
like surface level. Here's your AIM connected. We're gonna go to download, and here's the sessions that are on it. Here's all these times that you didn't have a good time at the track because something broke, and then here's Laguna Seca.
So what we're gonna do is data can be super nuanced and super, super deep, but we're gonna just look at one factor of it besides lap times. It's gonna be overall speed. So we've got a graph laid out here. This is basically showing us faster car and the slower car and where they're different. So what are we looking at?
We're just gonna keep it simple and just go off GPS speed, which will show us your peaks, which are your top speed, and your valleys, which are your low speed. While you have all these squiggles to lay out the track, and here's your track map, so you can always reference where you are to look at the data. You can also zoom in. Down here is what we call the delta. The green car is the slower car in this situation. The red is the base, right? So this is as the start of the lap to the end of the lap, and how much time is lost over the course of the lap to equal the lap time that you end up getting. In this situation, it's pretty obvious that one car was a lot slower, and the graph just kind of gets further and further away.
What do you see overall looking at this? You weren't there on the day, you don't really know much about the cars.
Don't know much about the cars, not a complete pro, but the obvious stuff to me is this car in the red here always ends up hitting a higher top speed for every single turn, and most of the time brakes later, carries more speed, and even in small situations where you can see, you know, down here for example, let's zoom into this area here.
We're gonna go and dive into just one section because we're not gonna go review a whole lap for you guys. I think you'll get bored. We're gonna review one turn where we see such a massive difference in the cars, and it's so obvious on what could change this. Is turn 4, you can see such a big delta in time.
So basically turn 4, you should kind of breathe on the brakes, turn in and get right back on the gas. It's a really fun turn. You see on the red car, you hit a max of 88.6 miles an hour. And in the green car, you did 85. So it's a 1.6 mile an hour difference. While it looks really big here, that actually adds up over time. But the crazier thing is the braking. So even after that top speed variance, we now have a minimum speed, 76 miles an hour in the red car and 71 in the green car.
Yeah, because this track is pretty technical in the fact that it's like if you over brake, you're going into a very fast section. So the Corner exit speed is so important here. All of those 1 mile an hour compound over time.
So even though the green car was heavy on the brakes, a slower minimum speed, that car got on the throttle sooner. And then no matter what happens, the red car again just passes it and hits a higher top speed into the next turn. So that means even though the red car was later to power, you still were able to out accelerate it because you could put the power down better.
If you're able to come to the conclusion during the data, the modified car was in fact faster. I ran a 142.9 in this car, but I think it has a lot left in it. I went 2 off in the sand after turn 10 and lost 0.7 seconds. I think it could do like a 40 flat, a little bit more seat time, maybe play around with some suspension settings, some tire pressure settings, but this car is pretty quick. In the stock car, I was able to do a 144.3, so we're looking at nearly a 1.5 second difference from the modifications. Ron's times didn't quite have the same delta because he was still getting used to the track, but he was able to go faster in the modified car over the stock. So overall, I would say, yeah, these are pretty worth it. The car is quite a bit faster on track. It looks a hell of a lot cooler, and it gives you a lot more driving confidence. Over time, I think you'll be able to chop off even more time off the laps. So I would say, yeah, this is a pretty good success. And honestly, I'm freaking pumped on the way this thing looks over the stock car. This was a super fun episode to make. I couldn't believe we got to get Laguna Seca all to ourselves. Big thank you to Hyundai on that. I hope you guys have been enjoying the content. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I'm making a video every Thursday. I appreciate you guys watching, but for now, I'm out. Oh.